Okay, this is a quick video. This is on Soulja Boy. He had a SA lawsuit, assault lawsuit, in which he was liable for $4 million. He began speaking out and saying that there is an attack on rich black men after being found liable in a sexual assault case. The jury awarded the rapper to pay $4 million in damages. Soldier Boy ordered to pay $4 million after he's found liable. Soldier Boy with a $4 million judgment on Thursday after finding him liable in civil court for SAing and battery of a woman who lived at his house and said she was his assistant. The 34-year-old rapper, whose real name is DeAndre Cortez Way, smiled calmly as the verdict was read, according to Courthouse News Service. The judgment was for compensatory damages only. Determination of punitive damage is still to come. Also, he might have to pay more than $4 million. The jury believed her claims of physical and sexual assault. Plaintiff's attorney Ron Zambrano, a partner at the West Coast Employment Lawyers, said in a statement obtained by Times, "We're looking forward to moving on to the punitive damages phase of the case." So he's gonna end up having to pay more than $4 million. Way has denied all claims against him. "We maintain that the evidence does not support the verdict," his attorney Ricky Ivy of Ivy McNeil, Wyatt, Purcell, and Diggs said in a statement to the Times. "It is unfortunate that aspirations and misperceptions of culture were allowed to influence the trial. Mr. Way fully intends to pursue his post-trial remedies and to fight for just result in this case." So I guess that means he's going to appeal. In January 2021, and the trial began in March in Santa Monica, the jury cleared the Crank That rapper on claims of false imprisonment and constructive discharge, an allegation he created a work environment so hostile the employee had to quit, while finding him liable for civil claims, including sexual assault. You know what? I want to delete this stuff because I need to clear out my phone. Oh, sexual battery, assault, and gender violence. The filing alleged that from January 23rd, 2019 to December 23rd, 2020, Way inflicted serious physical and sexual injuries on her and made her fear for her life. She said in court documents that she was promised 500 a week but was never paid, despite doing Way's bidding 7 days a week, 20 hours a day. Shortly after her employment began, the filing said a romantic relationship developed between the two, and the abuse soon followed. The lawsuit accused Way of punching Doe and raping her on multiple occasions. She testified during the trial. Way, who was accused of sexual battery, false imprisonment, negligence, and assault, plus a handful of labor code violations, denied raping or beating Doe, according to Courthouse News Service, and said she was never his employee, but rather stayed at his house frequently and rolled marijuana blunts for him. His attorney said in his closing argument that she got room and board for her efforts, something he called an industry standard. So he ain't have to pay her, huh? She didn't even feel human anymore, she said. "I felt like an animal," she said. She said she stayed because he threatened to hurt her or her family and to publicly post a video that he recorded of her performing oral sex. Text messages showed that she was required to do tasks that are typically done by an assistant, including making travel arrangements, getting food. In one text, she wrote, "I should have killed you," he told her. The trial began with, so now there's going to be second phase of this trial of punitive damages. So he going to end up paying her more than $4 million. Wow. Let me see if this is something different. Wow. She said he regularly R-worded her and beat her and sometimes kept her as a prisoner. During her 3-day testimony, the woman said when she started working for Way, she weighed approximately 150 pounds. When she left, she was 86 pounds. Wow. When I managed to get away from him, I didn't even feel human anymore. I felt like an animal. The woman also testified that while she worked for Soulja Boy, she did not have a car or a phone. Went missing along with her driver's license. At one point, she said Wade told her, "Bitch, I have your license." The woman testified that despite Soulja Boy's mistreatment of her, at one point the two fell in love and were in something like a consensual relationship. Courthouse news reports, according to text messages shown in court, which the outlet reviewed, both the woman and Wade expressed love for each other at certain times. For example, "Babe, come back. Let's talk seriously. And are you okay? I'm sorry. I love you. Please call." One message said, "You think you can keep hitting on me? You are crazy." After the 3-week long trial, Soulja Boy was also found liable on claims of intentional infliction of emotional distress, sexual harassment, and non payment of wages. He was cleared on claims of false imprisonment and constructive discharge. In a statement by the USA Today, the woman's attorney said, "We're happy our client was vindicated and the jury believed her claims of physical and sexual assault. We're looking forward to moving on to the punitive phase of the case." I didn't think he didn't seem like that type of person. Wow. Meanwhile, Soldier Boy's attorney said the woman made up her story and was indeed motivated by greed. She wanted to be paid, which is what this case is all about because it's not about the truth. Well, if she was working for him, I would want to be paid too. I mean, come on. That's why she was awarded the $4 million. Let me see if I can find this real quick. What are these? Let me find this video. Oh yeah, okay, here you go. Okay, I'm in Monday. I'm so hungry. I'm about to eat and go to bed. Just hold on, y'all. I'm looking for this video. Oh shit, I'm on Sunday. I need to be on Monday. Okay, now I'm on Monday. Okay, where's Soldier Boy? Oh, here we go.
Hey, bitch, on my mama, y'all can see what these folks trying to do then. Yeah, y'all want to believe what these folks saying? Y'all want to promote this shit? Come on, nigga, come lock me up, nigga. What the charges at? Come on, nigga. I can't charge nigga, can't lock the nigga up, can't take a nigga to jail. But when I'm going and ask for some money. Who the money for being sorry? Who the wants some money for that? Go lock the nigga up. That's how you know this scam, nigga. The fucking system is broken, nigga. My mama, nigga, and she set up for black niggas to fail.
Oh, shoot. Oh, my God.
It was like 12, it was 11 white folks. That was all 70 years old, bro. Old folks, bro. Wow, you hear that? I ain't gonna you got some valid points. Run like salute to the
Right.
2974.
This is MRAT.
Got 700 in the building and like white button. Found that white button. Left that cash out that Venmo.
Oh, man. Of course it would go away. Of course it would. What's the 14th? I'm going to show one more and I'm going to be done because I'm so sleepy. And I got to get up. I'm going to get up at 5:30. But your attorney, he approved them old people.
So, Soulja Boy has been making headlines this week after going to court and losing a lawsuit to a woman who was his personal assistant that he hired back in 2018. Soulja Boy is a rapper who, over the course of his career, has no doubt had some massive records. Records like Crank That, which have been certified 3 times platinum by the RIAA, meaning that it sold more than 3 million copies. Not to mention that this song came out when ringtones were still being sold for your cell phone for about $1 to $3 a piece. And it's estimated that on top of the 3 records sold with Crank That, he also sold approximately 3 million ringtones, which alone could have generated up to $7 million. Not only that, but he did have other hits when he first came out. Songs like Kiss Me Through the Phone, Pretty Boy Swag. It's safe to say that he made a small fortune during this period of his career. Even after you take out whatever percentage the record label took and taxes, it's safe to say that Soulja Boy was sitting around with millions of dollars in his bank account. But after this verdict that was just handed down in court, it looks like Soulja Boy could be facing some more serious financial problems.
He is.
Because his old assistant that he hired back in 2018 would eventually formally accuse Soulja Boy of physical, sexual, and emotional abuse in a lawsuit that she filed in 2021, resulting in the jury awarding her $4 million in compensatory damages and another $250,000 in punitive damages, making a total of $4,250,000 that Soulja Boy will now have to cough over unless he wants his wages garnished and his assets seized and being sold.
Facts.
The story goes like this. Soulja Boy hired this 20-year-old woman who hasn't been identified by anything other than Jane Doe as his personal assistant in 2018, promising to pay her $500 a week for part of her job. Mentorship by January 20. Shortly thereafter, the assistant says Soulja Boy's behavior turned abusive. According to the assistant's lawsuit, Soulja Boy embarked on a nearly 2-year pattern of physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. In early 2019, he allegedly pushed her out of a car during an argument and 5 miles back to the house. The first sexual assault occurred in February of 2019. Afterwards, Soulja Boy, quote unquote, expressed remorse and paid her $1,000 to try to make up for it. The woman claimed violently listing on her when she tried to quit and kicking and body slamming her over social media interactions that she was having with her followers. Basically, if a dude would leave a comment on one of her posts, he would freak out. On at least one occasion, he allegedly locked her in a room without a bed, no food, no water for 3 days as a form of punishment.
Wow.
About this, Soulja Boy repeatedly R-word her, and in one message that was sent from Soulja Boy to this woman, he told her, "I should have killed you." This all culminated in a brutal attack in August of 2020, in which Soulja Boy beat and again R-worded the woman to the point that she said she feared for her life. Following this incident, she left his house and cut off the relationship. 1 month later, she went back to his house to pick up her belongings, and while she was there, she said Soulja again physically attacked and armed her. The assistant said that the abuse was so constant that she didn't even feel human anymore. She said, "I felt like an animal," and this led to her filing her lawsuit in 2021. In her complaint, she accused Soulja Boy of an array of offenses: sexual battery, assault, gender violence, intentional infliction of emotional distress, creating a hostile work environment, and false imprisonment. The work that she did as an assistant, effectively accusing him of several labor violations. The suit was seeking a significant amount of monetary damages for trauma and injuries that she suffered, and she requested a jury trial. Now, Soulja Boy publicly denied the allegations, and in a statement given to TMZ, a representative for Soulja Boy called the women's claims nonsense, insisting that Soulja would never put his hands on a female. Soulja Boy himself told the press that he denied the allegations and said that he had contacted his legal team to refute what he was describing as lies. Soulja Boy's legal team also responded to this in court, formally denying all wrongdoing. And over the next few years, the case moved through the pretrial process, like evidence gathering, depositions, pretrial motions, and the proceedings faced a few delays in part due to backlogs in the court system. So the trial didn't immediately begin in 2020. It wouldn't start until 2021. It wouldn't be used at trial like pictures of this woman's injuries and lengthy text message threads between Soulja Boy and her. One message where Soulja Boy told her, "Off you B word, I hope you die slow." Right? Throughout this time, Soulja Boy didn't make any further public comments about the case, but he did have a separate legal issue arise in mid 2021 when he was ordered to pay a hefty judgment to another woman stemming from a past incident. In this case, a Los Angeles jury found Soulja Boy liable for assaulting his ex-girlfriend unawares during a 2019
Wow.
house party. In this unrelated case, there were allegations that Soulja Boy pistol whipped Myers and held her captive. And by the end of this trial, a jury awarded her approximately
Dang.
$472,000. This separate verdict demonstrated a pattern of allegations against Soulja Boy, and eventually his ex would have to seek out new court orders to seize Soulja Boy's assets because he failed to pay her when it was all said and done. It wasn't a good look and didn't help his situation in his other court battle with his assistant. In late 2024, the Jane Doe lawsuit is finally scheduled for trial, and after several years of pretrial wrangling, the stage was set for a courtroom battle in 2025, where a jury was set to hear all of the disturbing allegations and decide whether Soulja Boy was going to be held accountable. In March of 2025, the woman was taking a stand, and things that we discussed earlier, like being locked in a room, being R-worded, being punched and kicked, body slammed. They also showed the jury the messages between Soulja Boy and her when messages were supposedly sent to her, where he pretty much said that he should have killed her and he wished she would die. When it was Soulja Boy's time to defend himself, he decided to testify in self-defense, directly
Wow.
arguing. That's something that we don't see people do a lot of the times in these type of cases because they don't have to testify on their own behalf. Anyways, when Soulja Boy got up there, he portrayed a very different plea. Instead, he characterized her as somebody who hung around his house and helped roll his blunts. And he said that she was free to come and go as she pleased. He insisted they had a consensual relationship and that he never physically harmed her. He questioned her credibility, argued that her story changed over time, and said that she had multiple opportunities to leave if she truly felt in danger. During the closing arguments, Soulja Boy's attorneys emphasized that the woman stayed with Soulja Boy by choice and had received quote unquote room and board plus gifts and other things rather than a salary, which they argued was an industry standard agreement for informal employment. assistants in the music world. And basically, this was them trying to escape the labor violations she alleged from him not paying her the $500 a week. During the woman's closing argument, her lawyers asserted that Soulja Boy had to be held accountable, and they asked the jury to award her $73.6 million.
Wow.
That they argued was justified by the extreme trauma and losses that the woman suffered, and with those final arguments went to the jury for deliberation. When they returned a verdict, the 12 all gender violence, intentional infliction of emotional distress, sexual harassment, and several labor code violations related to unpaid wages. However, the jury did not find him liable for false imprisonment, and they also cleared him of creating a hostile work environment. As a result, they awarded the woman nearly
$4 million
in compensatory damages. This sum was meant to cover her pain, suffering, lost earnings, and any medical or therapy costs that are going to result from the abuse. Shortly after, in a brief additional
Yard. Come on, StreamYard. And if all that's true, but he got a point though, because she did not file a police report and all that. Anyway, I'm sure he's gonna appeal that.
conduct, and awarded the woman another $250,000, making a total of $4.25 that Soulja Boy. Verdict is a clear legal defeat for Soulja Boy, as the jury has legally affirmed that he abused and injured his former assistant, and they hit him with a multi-million-dollar financial. Boy smiled calmly upon hearing the decision. Now, his lawyers reacted to this saying, "We maintain that the evidence does not support culture or allowed to sue his post-trial remedies," even though they found him guilty. And after the verdict, Soulja Boy actually prepared a statement off of his phone to a cluster of reporters that was there. Here's what he said about the verdict.
Today, I stand before you deeply disappointed in the verdict delivered in my case. I firmly believe that the decision made in court was not based on facts or substantial evidence, but rather on factors that were outside of my control. The truth was overshadowed by the involvement of individuals such as the jury who were not present during the events in question. And I feel that the system allowed external influences to shape the outcome. Furthermore, the use of Jane Doe as the identity of the accusers raises serious concerns about fairness. Keeping these individuals anonymous while I'm forced to face public scrutiny creates an unequal playing field. I believe this entire process has been tainted by a system that is not designed to protect the rights of the accused. I want to make it clear that I'm innocent. This case was never about justice. It was about money and personal gain. And I will not let this stand. I am committed to filing an appeal and fighting for the truth to be revealed. I will continue to stand by my decision and believe that I did not commit the crimes I'm accused of. Thank you to everyone who has supported me during this time. I promise that I will fight until the end. Do you mind repeating the first three sentences? Today, I stand before you deeply disappointed in the verdict delivered in my case. I firmly believe that the decision made in court was not based on facts or substantial evidence, rather on facts. The truth was overshadowed by during the events in question, and I feel like the system allowed external influence to shape the outcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Not only did he address the media in those clips, he also did what he normally does in these types of situations and went on a rant on live about how the trial was unfair.
I'm the sexiest in the world. I'm that nigga that made Pretty Boy swag. Come on, man. If y'all don't see they out here trying to attack all our black Christians, man, I don't know what to tell y'all. You know, they out here trying to take down all the rich black. They mad because I own my own. I ain't signing no. I'm saying they trying to take it down. How this got all this money? How he got all these stores? How he got all this? So they gonna try to lie on, make up shit on him. Cause I'm the first rapper to do this. They did the same shit with Jay-Z. They did the same shit with P. Diddy. They did the same shit with everybody. All my fans know what type of person I am. All my fans know how I get in. I never do nothing like that. On God. Them folks scam me up in that courtroom. All folks when I was old as hell, 60-year-old, 70-year-old white people. What the young people that on jury? What the black people that? I had one black person on. I'm Gucci, bro. If Kendrick Lamar can stand at the Super Bowl and call Drake up, and he still, I'm good. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm good. Like, my mama, if I actually solid, why in jail then? The f you mean? Why you going to ask for some money? Go tell the police to come lock me up. If I test your ass, lying ass, nobody just funky ass. On my mama, y'all can't see what these folks trying to do then. Y'all want to believe what these folks saying? Y'all want to promote this? Come on, come lock me up. Where the charges at? Can't lock them up. Can't take it to jail. But when I go and ask for some money, who the f want money for being a assaulted? Will never stop me. They did it to Michael Jackson. They did it to P. Diddy. They did it to Arca. They did it to Bill Cosby. They did it to everybody. Got it. With that, Soulja Boy now has to file an appeal to try to overturn the jury's verdict. And if he's unsuccessful, he'll still be on the hook for the $4.25 million.
That's a fact.
That he now owes this woman. And $4.2 million is a lot of damn money. He could choose not to pay, but just as the last woman, Soulja Boy of these things, this woman will be able to file injunctions that could force Soulja Boy to sell his assets to satisfy the debt, like his house. She could confiscate money that he has in his bank accounts and even garnish his future wages if he decides he don't want to pay. Honestly, it's been a long time since Soulja Boy had a hit record under his belt. While I don't know the ins and outs of his personal finances, something like this could certainly force him into bankruptcy, the substantial amount that he now owes this woman. Soulja Boy has already claimed.
Well, if he filed bankruptcy, he ain't got to pay her. Now, whether these allegations are true or not, if they true, well, she deserved the $4 million. But I can't believe she stayed with him almost a year and a half without being paid and going through all that abuse. She said she went from 150 pounds down to 86 pounds. I know it was at some time she was able to escape. But if he did all this, then she getting what she deserved, and he gonna appeal this. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm going to bed. I gotta get up.